I'm Andre Huey and welcome to the latest edition of the Skn Newsline Newscast.
The rights of workers continue to be the center of debate as it relates to vaccination. The government has been giving their views on the issue, as we hear in this report. Attorney General Vincent Byron suggests provisions should be made for unvaccinated workers in the private sector to still have the ability to perform their work if they choose not to be vaccinated. The Attorney General was addressing a question about the rights of workers who choose not to be vaccinated at the Prime Minister's press conference recently.
We believe the unvaccinated, everything should be done in a soft law approach to find ways in which unvaccinated may be asked to do other types of duties where they do not come into contact with the general public, where they are asked to do maybe work from home in the first instance. I think employers have every right to request that their employees get vaccinated. They give them time, they encourage them to do so, and they find other means how to deal with these. So there is a balance involved here, but we would do everything in our power to ensure that all our citizens get the due process of law, that there's a certain level of protection in whatever they do.
The Attorney General, however, was keen to point out that even though the Constitution assures rights of individuals, these rights are not absolute.
And whereas the Constitution does give individuals a certain amount of protection of their individual rights, there's also the question that these rights are not absolute. That's somewhat limited. Clearly, when it comes to matters of the state, your constitutional rights are protected up to a point, but in a number of matters when it comes to etc., this is done in a private context where questions of the labor laws, the high courts, are where you have recourse for this matter. And as the minister said, this is a question where tripartism in our country, where the employer, workers, their customers, but at the same time, workers also have individual rights that they can also approach a court with.
The Attorney General's comments come in light of concerns by persons in St. Kitts and Nevis who would have been dismissed because they refused to be vaccinated with the COVID-19 vaccine. Attorney Chesley Hamilton, in a recent interview on Voice of the Caribbean Radio, had asserted that businesses cannot dismiss workers only on the basis of refusing the COVID-19 vaccine.
Firing me because I did not take the vaccine, because you want to impose it on me, doesn't seem like it can carry the day without more. There must be a need for these companies in the private sector to accommodate. They must give me alternatives. They must decide whether I'm going to be a frontline worker or not.
Skn Newsline will continue to monitor developments on this issue. I'm Andre Huey for Skn Newsline. The TVET program on St. Kitts and Nevis gets a major upgrade with funding from the Caribbean Development Bank as education authorities continue to enhance TVET in the Federation. More from Skn Newsline's Glenn Bart.
Major upgrades to spaces in high schools allocated for technical vocational education training, or TVET, will allow students and teachers to be more productive while enhancing the learning experience, according to Minister of Education John Powell. Parlor was addressing teachers and guests at a ceremony marking the opening of the 2021-2022 school year, indicating that the new thrust is to allow all students to undertake TVET subjects.
I am pleased to recognize and applaud the place of prominence that must be given to the technical vocational education training in our education system in the Federation. All students in our schools, regardless of their intellectual abilities, must be given the opportunity to pursue technical and vocational skills. To ensure that this opportunity is provided during this last school year, the TVET Secretariat, headed by Dr. Kirtley Thompson, and the project unit, headed by Ms. Melva Walters, spearheaded the refurbishment, renovation, and equipping of all TVET spaces at 5 of our secondary schools in St. Kitts, except for the Bastia High School.
During the last school year, the TVET Secretariat, headed by Dr. Courtney Thompson and Melva Walters, head of the building unit, spearheaded the multi-million-dollar upgrades carried out under the TVET Enhancement Project funded by the Caribbean Development Bank and the government of St. Kitts and Nevis.
The total construction cost of the project is some 3.1 million EC dollars. At Gingerland Secondary, the new technical wing is due to be open in September of 2021. This project being constructed at a cost of $3.8 million. This two-story building features a wood workshop, technical drawing room, cosmetology lab, 2 multipurpose classrooms, and much-needed space for storage. A word of commendation is extended to Lennox Warner and partner, E&J Construction, for undertaking the work in St. Kitts. And additionally, persons from across the education sector in St. Kitts and Nevis have formed a core committee charged with the responsibility of developing the concept and framework for the establishment of a national training institute in the Federation. This initiative will culminate in the amalgamation of TVET spaces in St. Kitts and Nevis. It is anticipated that such an entity will provide opportunities for training and certification of TVET disciplines that will enable our education system to respond to the labor market needs in our country.
The role of TVET in the developing economy of St. Kitts and Nevis has been ongoing for several years. Glenn Bart reporting for Skn Newsline.
When we come back, the Nevis Reformation Party brings geothermal back in the debate.
Hey, man, I just can't believe, boy.
Yo, sweet boy, what you really crying for?
Why you see me crying, boy? My man crying. I just see her thinking about that girl. I think she cheating on me, you know.
You lie.
Boy, for real. A couple of weeks ago, right? She come telling me how I'm too sweet. And that I just make she belly roll and I got her thighs rubbing. What is that?
No, man.
But yes. Look, she tell me, right, that we need some time apart. To be honest, I wasn't too concerned about that because you know how the girls and them, they're addicted to me sweetness. But then I see she the other day and the girl looking so good, looking so fresh and so lean.
Boy, you sure she addicted to you?
But yes. But wait. Look at here. Come. Hide. Boy, come hide now. Oh, I can't believe, but is that what's going on? Really? Why you got to say for yourself?
Drink some water, share some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell somebody you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, share some love. Tell somebody, hey.
If you're looking for a one-stop shop for all your electronics, you only have 2 stores to choose from. Island Electronics on 4th Street, Basse-Terre, and Smart Electronics at Port Zante. At Island Electronics, you have some of the top brands in electronics, from the top-of-the-line smartphones, Samsung and iPhone, laptop computers, smart TVs, washing machines, small appliances, phone accessories, refrigerators, and so much more. Brands include Whirlpool, Samsung, Black & Decker, HP, and much more. Island Electronics is located in the heart of Basse-Terre. Make it easy for you to access and shop. You can also choose to shop at Smart Electronics. Get the same great deals and quality products, the widest array in smartphones, including the latest Samsung Z Fold, smart TVs, and simply the best in household appliances like stoves, refrigerators, washing machines, even dishwashers. At Smart Electronics, get products for your leisure, headphones, video games, from Nintendo Switch to PlayStation 5, Bluetooth speakers, and much more. It's so hot these days. Well, that's JL, Beats, Whirlpool, Panasonic, LG, Samsung, HP, Dell, RCA, and many more. You can choose to buy cash or on layaway. So if you're looking for electronic stores with the best deal and quality, Island Electronics and Smart Electronics are your only choices. Choose the store of your convenience. Contact them today. Smart Electronics at 466-4271 or WhatsApp 668-2818. Or Island Electronics at 665-8677. 2 stores, 1 great experience.
Elliot's Funeral Parlor is the first licensed embalmer in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We have a friendly and professional staff. At Elliot's Funeral Parlor, we offer a wide range of packages from $6,500, homegoing service at chapel, locally made caskets, tailoring of outfit for deceased of your choice, wake overnight with slideshow, funeral, death announcement, obituary, booklets, family pin-ons, memorial books, preparation of funeral arrangements, wreath, fresh and artificial. For further information, call 469-3298, 664-2007 or 660-0186. Elliot's Funeral Parlor in Gingerland, Nevis, dedicated to those we serve. Welcome back. The NRP believes the party can bring the geothermal energy program back on track, saying the current administration has lost its way. Glenn Bart reports.
According to the new leader of the Nevis Reformation Party, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge, the revamped party has a clear vision of what is required to move Nevis forward. Speaking at a recent press conference, Dr. Daniel Hodge said the NRP intends to work in the interest of all the people of Nevis and will have as one of its goals the creation of job opportunities.
We in the NRP have a clear vision centered around the blue-green economy to create employment opportunities and to advance the sustainable growth of Nevis once more. To advance the sustainable growth of Nevis, to improve your standard of living, and to restore hope of a brighter future for our youths and for generations to come. Nevis is at a crossroads, and each one of you must recognize that you have the power to make a difference, to make that change for a better Nevis. Each one of you, each one of us can make it happen.
According to Dr. Daniel Hodge, the NRP is still committed to delivering geothermal energy and believes the current CCM administration has lost its way on the geothermal issue.
Why I feel that we have really lost our way with regards to the implementation of geothermal energy or other renewable energy sources in Nevis in particular, because as I mentioned earlier, we are seeing St. Kitts making huge leaps and bounds with regards to energy development. And so we are aware that funding sources are available. We have seen some attempts made by this current administration, but unfortunately, the lack of transparency, lack of available information, we do not know whatever happened to the Omni Alpha Waste to Energy project. That project proposed to provide 2.5 megawatts from solar and waste to energy. The Nevis Renewable Energy International, which was responsible for the producing 10 megawatts from geothermal, we cannot understand what would have happened, because as we speak about sustainable development goals and we speak about building resilience to the impact of climate change, we know that the developed countries do have that responsibility to help provide funding for the islands such as St. Kitts and Nevis that are being impacted by the effects of climate change to help build resilience. And so when we look at the number of different funding opportunities that are available, where it is a matter of sitting down, understanding that the purpose and the focus, not just to build resilience to climate change, but to help make the basic need more affordable to the people of Nevis, then our first focus and our priority should really be able to negotiate so that we can have more affordable electricity here in Nevis.
While there has been much talk about geothermal energy on both islands, progress appeared to have stalled with no sense of delivery date in mind. Glenn Bart reporting for Skn Newsline.
Police investigating the death of a Bath villager and a fatal accident in Bird Rock. The police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of 39-year-old Wilson Dorr of Bath Village. Dorr's body was found partially clothed in Bath Village at about 7:30 p.m. on August 29th. The district medical officer arrived at the scene and pronounced him dead. An autopsy has been scheduled to determine the exact cause of death. Persons with information about this incident are urged to contact the Charlestown Police Station by calling 469-5391, the nearest police station, or the crime hotline at 707. Investigations into the matter are ongoing. Meanwhile, the police said they're investigating a fatal traffic accident that occurred in the Bird Rock area on August 27th. According to a release from the police, the accident involved a MotoGP 6667, which is owned and was driven by Kelly and Hazel of St. Paul's. Investigations so far have revealed that close to 1 a.m., Hazel exited the parking lot of a club in Bird Rock and collided with the chassis of a 40-foot container. The St. Kitts Nevis Fire and Rescue Services had to be called to extricate Keniqua David of Sadlers, who was in the front passenger seat. Both Hazel and David were transported to the Janet Hospital via the emergency medical service. Hazel was treated and discharged for injuries to his hand. David, 21 years old, succumbed to her injuries close to midnight on August 27th. An autopsy has been scheduled to determine the exact cause of death. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline. When we come back, news from across the Caribbean.
Want to buy some fresh fruits, vegetables, or ground provision, but don't have the time to go to the market or even to find parking? Look no further. Green Market and Delivery is your solution. Green Market and Delivery is an e-commerce store that sells and delivers local produce to customers in St. Kitts and Nevis. Anything you purchase, you can get fresh from the market and delivered directly to your door. Log on to www.greenmarketskn.com. Click on the e-store link, choose your items, and shop away. We have a wide array of products from fruits, vegetables, local products, spices and seasonings, and much more. Save time and energy. Shop on greenmarketskn.com, your one-stop shop for fresh local produce.
Are you ready to create high-performing TV commercials?
Ready.
Ready. Ready. Create and tell compelling stories. Reach your target audience. And build brand awareness. Our strategies and execution will provide for your desired outcome and clearly represent your brand. Visit us at www.madebyopen.com and get started on your creative video commercial today. Lights, camera, Open Interactive.
Auto Plus Car Wash, located on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Bring your car to Auto Plus Car Wash to remove water stains, wiper marks. Get your doors, roof panel cleaned, seat floor mats, buffing, headlights, and engine wash. You get quality service at the best price at Auto Plus Car Wash. They really care for your car. Call 765-5140 or visit them on the College Street Gut, Bastyr, St. Kitts. Auto Plus Car Wash, where the service is number one. Jamaica is breathing a sigh of relief as the public hospitals in the country have replenished some of its oxygen supplies.
Up to Sunday morning, all hospitals across the island were low on oxygen supply. Some were out and had to be supplemented. Monday morning, bulk oxygen arrived in the island and was immediately dispatched to hospitals to alleviate the shortage. Head of the Western Regional Health Authority Andrade Sinclair says operations are now relatively calm following the restoration of supplies.
We have replenished all of our empty cylinders and we are readily going ahead with replenishing the ones that are used as they are used. In terms of liquid oxygen, each of the hospitals have been replaced with their liquid oxygen. Things should be a little bit smoother from here on. It shouldn't be as crazy as you've been seeing it for the last 2 weeks, based on my projection.
Meanwhile, chairman of the Southern Regional Health Authority, Wayne Chen, is hoping that the supply will be enough to last for several days as the hospitals buckle under pressure.
Mandeville Regional has exceeded its official bed count. We officially have 225 beds, but in reality, we probably have closer to about 260. We are making more bed space as we speak. We expect to move the outpatient department across the road to the Seventh-day Adventist Church Hall, and this is by Wednesday.
He says the numbers are expected to increase in the coming weeks.
We should be looking at more restrictions as we see where the numbers are, the high positivity rate, the rising daily cases. That should certainly inform any future lockdown.
A health crisis exacerbated daily. Robianne Williams for CVM Live.
There is clear data showing that the impact of the Delta variant of COVID-19 in Antigua and Barbuda is fueling transmission in the country. Head of the laboratory at Sir Lester Bird Medical Center, Dr. Lester Simon, says this variant of concern is now the most dominant strain in Antigua and Barbuda. Jamie J. Rocher from ABS TV reports.
The Health Ministry has reported close to 400 new COVID-19 cases between August 1 and 29. Just 2 months earlier, active cases in this country had fallen to 0. Head of the laboratory at Sir Lester Bird Medical Center, Dr. Lester Simon, says data show the Delta variant is driving the increase. The laboratory has sent over 60 samples to the Caribbean Public Health Agency for variant testing between October last year and August 13.
But of the 59 that were conclusive, 34 of them, or 58% of them, were Delta. And 20 or 34% of them were Alpha, with 3 and 2 and 5% being respectively Beta and Gamma.
So what does all this mean?
In simple language, not only are the 4 variants of concern here, but Delta has taken over Antigua and Barbuda.
Variants of concern are more transmissible and cause more severe disease than the original coronavirus first detected in Wuhan, China. Some strains have also developed new ways of evading the body's antibody response.
If you look here, you see where Beta is. Beta, and Beta is here, is a furthest remove from Wuhan as far as being able to be treated.
In terms of increased transmissibility, Dr. Simon says Delta produces a lot more viral particles and gets into cells easier than the wild type and other strains.
If you had 100 viral particles of the wild type, 10 of them were allowed to enter. For the Alpha, 50 of them, 50% were allowed to enter. And for the Delta, 75%.
The laboratory head says they've sent over 20 more samples to CARFA for variant testing last week. He believes the Delta variant will also dominate in those results. Jamie J. Rocher, ABS News.
Rescue efforts are underway across Louisiana after Hurricane Ida made landfall as a Category 4 storm, causing extensive damage to roads and buildings, knocking out power for millions of people. NBC News reports.
A new video this morning shows a woman being pulled from her car as floodwaters rise in one New Orleans street. She was rescued by an off-duty Italian naval officer. Several people across the Gulf Coast had to be rescued from rising floodwaters. The number of rescues is expected to rise, especially as roads are cleared and crews are given the okay to access parts of Louisiana ravaged by Ida. Nicole Mall from the American Red Cross joins us now. Nicole, good morning. Thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time this morning. Now, you're on the ground, I believe, in Baton Rouge. So what's your team seeing in terms of rescues right now?
You know, what we're seeing right now is we're caring for about 2,000 people who've been affected across Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So what that means is those are families who couldn't stay at home, right, who had to evacuate. Maybe they've had power outages. Hurricane Ida is going to go down in history as a very, very significant storm. And our priority mission right now is to really take care of these people who've been affected. We're seeing the footage, we're seeing the damage, we're talking with folks. And the greatest thing that we can do right now is make sure we are here to shelter and care for these folks who've been affected by Ida.
And now, Nicole, I mean, this is the second year in a row that Louisiana's been hit by a major hurricane, with Hurricane Laura last year. course, we all remember Katrina back in 2005. How's the damage like this time around, and what's it like responding to the same area a second year in a row? How are people doing?
Having the chance to talk with some of the folks who are staying with the Red Cross, it's interesting because the one common thread that we're finding in this is that Louisiana is home. And so while each storm takes a very unique toll on a person, what we're finding is people, this is their home, right? So as long as they're here and as resilient and as strong as they are, we're here to take care of them. And, to see these back-to-back storms, just to see, history being made time and time again, it's just absolutely devastating. And for us, our focus to be able to care for these people, even when things feel uncertain, and to see this damage, it's heartbreaking.
Absolutely. And Nicole, what are they telling you they need right now? What's the biggest thing on the ground that these people are needing?
I think from our conversations, it's don't forget about Louisiana. Do not forget about Mississippi, right? This is home for people, right? And when we as the Red Cross come here, it's to help shelter, to help take care of people. We're waiting for access from our county, or our parish and our state partners that we can get in, get food, get relief supplies. But for the folks staying in our care, we want to make this top of mind, because for every family who's been affected by a disaster, this is the biggest disaster in their life. And, if you're looking to support, you can visit redcross.org, become a volunteer, make a donation, and we're going to be here as long as needed.
Nicole Mall, thank you so much for what you're doing. And again, thank you for some of your time this morning. Good luck.
Stay safe.
The last U.S. soldier has left Afghanistan, and after 20 years of war, millions of Afghans are back under Taliban rule. Al Jazeera's Charles Stratford reports from Kabul.
The morning after what the Taliban is calling a historic victory over foreign invaders after 20 years of war. Wearing US military fatigues and holding American weapons taken from Afghan army depots, Taliban special forces are in control on the tarmac at Kabul International Airport. Destroyed and abandoned aircraft stand in what remains of the NATO base.
No Afghans will surrender to force. The way Americans left Afghanistan is a good lesson for the future generation. They were damaged financially. It's a good lesson for everyone else. It's a historic day with no doubts. It's a free country. It's a sovereign country. America was defeated. They could not achieve their targets through military operations, and on behalf of my nation, we want to have good relations with the rest of the world.
But there is little, if any, trust on which those good relations can be built, for the time being at least. Taliban leaders say the movement has changed. It promises inclusive governance, women's rights according to the group's own interpretation of Islam. It promises a free media and the right for anyone to leave the country. Afghans, including Taliban supporters, say they want action, not words.
Whenever a new government is formed, it has to prove itself to the rest of the world, and we are worried, what if the Taliban can't? My children are anxious that they won't be able to go out and live their lives or be involved, maybe in politics and civil society.
Crowds of people gather outside Kabul's banks, many withdrawing the last salary they will ever receive from a Western-backed government that no longer exists, a government widely accused of corruption and mismanagement. The challenges are immense, especially when billions of dollars of funding and Afghan cash remains frozen by the West since the Taliban took control. Women here say they want the same opportunities as men, no matter any expected changes to the law.
I don't have a problem wearing a burqa as long as there's security and justice. It's just a piece of fabric. They have said that men and women will be separated at work. Well, that's okay too. I will work.
The Taliban says give us a chance. They say it is the first day of a new Afghanistan after 20 years of foreign interference and occupation. The wider world may have no choice but to engage with the new leaders of this country if peace and stability is to prevail. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera, Kabul.
In sports, the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee pays homage to deceased former president of the IOC. More in this report. The St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee has paid tribute to former president of the International Olympic Committee, Dr. Jacques Rogge, who passed away on the weekend.
I recall very well his visit to St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee in March 2008. It was an occasion of great pride for the National Olympic Committee of St. Kitts and Nevis and the fulfillment of a passion for President Rogge himself. It was the second visit to the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee and to St. Kitts and Nevis by the head of the International Olympic Committee in the short history of the St. Kitts and Nevis Olympic Committee. Dr. Rogge brought his own brand of leadership to a troubled International Olympic Committee with his disarming humility and episodes of demonstrable clinical analyses. In many ways, he appeared to be an ideal successor in style, compatibility to the times, and outcomes to his predecessor. Funny, he was the president that announced Tokyo as the winner to host the Games of 2020+1.
Dr. Rogge became president of the International Olympic Committee in 2001, when the organization was still reeling from an ethics scandal, and helped restore stability during the 12 years in charge while taking a strong stand against doping. He was 79 years old. I'm Andre Huey for Skn Newsline. There were victories for Jamaican athletes in the Diamond League in Paris on the weekend. More in this report.
Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah continued her blistering form by breaking the meet record as Jamaica had 3 winners at the Paris Diamond League meet on Saturday. As Jordan Fort reports, Olympic champion Hansa Parchment and former world champion Daniel Williams were also among the winners in France.
Such has been the form of Olympic champion Elaine Thompson-Herah that she made breaking the 10.7-second barrier in the 100 meters look routine ever since she stormed to gold in the Tokyo Games. Since then, she has returned a 10.54 and a 10.64 seconds in Eugene and Lausanne, and continued that form in Paris with a comfortable 10.72 seconds run.
Well, away first time, the headband of Thompson-Herah going well, pushing her well is Dina Asher-Smith. Thompson-Herah though now through the transition phase into her running. Let's keep an eye on the clock. She's streaking away, 7.72.
Olympic bronze medalist Sharika Jackson was second in 10.97, with compatriot Natasha Morrison fourth in 11.09. In fact, the Jamaicans seemed to enjoy themselves in the French capital as Olympic champion Hansa Parchment rebounded from an 8th place finish in Lausanne on Thursday to clock a season's best 13.03 seconds to win.
Monga and Potsy left of picture. Well, going best at the moment perhaps is Parchment in the white there, the tall figure of the Jamaican beginning to ease clear, going well in lane 2 is Daniel Roberts as well, and coming back is Devon Allen now. Devon Allen taking second spot, 13.03.
Compatriot and Olympic bronze medalist Ronald Levy was fourth in 13.24. The women's equivalent also saw a Jamaican winner as 2015 world champion Daniel Williams showed her class in winning in 12.50 seconds, with compatriot and Olympic bronze medalist Megan Tapper finishing third in 12.66.
Good start there from Tapper in the white. Tapper quickest away, she's the bronze medalist from Tokyo. Going with her is Cunningham, and on the far side looking really strong at the moment is Danielle Williams. Danielle Williams leading from Visser at the moment. They take 1-2. Really strong second half from the pair of them. A fall there.
Olympic finalist Genevieve Russell finished third in the 400-meter hurdles in 54.75, behind winner Gianna Woodruff, who clocked 54.44. Another Olympic finalist, Candice McLeod, was 7th in the 400 meters in 51.41 seconds, with the win going to Olympic silver medalist Marilady Paulinho in 50.12. Earlier, Nigel Ellis was a second-place finisher in the men's 100 in 10.14 seconds, with Julian Fort finishing 5th in 10.21. The next stop on the Diamond League calendar is in Brussels on September 3. Jordan Fort, TVJ Sports.
This has been the Skn Newsline newscast. I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find more news on our website at www.sknewsline.com, or you can visit our Facebook page. From all of us here at Skn Newsline and Channel 95, I'm Andre Huey. Thank you for watching.